Welcome back to more familiar territory because we're back on dirt. This is Jack Bernagle welcoming you to Leipzig. We've seen Stuttgart, we missed Ghent where our own Warren Edwards won. We saw Doug Dubach take the Dortmund Supercross and the title King of Dortmund. And now what's going to happen here in Leipzig? Edwards is here, Dubach's here. This is Leipzig, an exhibition city, the capital of the state of Saxony. It's got 500,000 inhabitants and up to 1989 belonged to Eastern Germany. It's a magnificent mixture of old, traditional, historic buildings, historic monuments and skyscrapers. This is the Supercross of Leipzig. We have Hanover to come, but here indoors at Leipzig, this is the #1 Suzuki being prepared for 28-year-old Pennsylvania's visitor, Mike Jones. Well, it started out down a dirty road.
If luck goes my way, I think I can. It's very important to get a good start here, and there are a lot of good riders here tonight, and I treat everybody equal, so I think if luck goes my way, I have the speed to win.
One of the people who will be trying to prevent him winning is 31-year-old Doug Dubach. Something of a legend from the USA, winner of the title King of Dortmund, as we saw a few weeks back. And this is number 10, Pedro Tractor from the Netherlands, 1993 125cc world champion and one of the best of Europe's Supercross riders. What does Pedro rate to his chances?
I can beat Mike Jones. He's fast today, me also, but depends on the start. The start is very important, but if I look at time practice, then I'm faster than Mike Jones, so I can win also.
Yes, but are you fast enough to beat Warren Edwards, our own English Supercross star? Warren thinks not.
The track is quite difficult because it is small and there's a lot of technical obstacles out there, and because the ground is soft, the jumps and stuff, they're ratting out quite badly, so it makes it difficult racing.
Well, don't be taken in by that laid-back approach from young Warren Edwards. He'll be in there fighting, as will Bernd Eckenbach, the 1994 250cc German champion, here relaxing in his mobile home and talking outside of it. Everybody can be beaten, reckons Bernd, even the Americans. Mike Jones is strong, Doug Dubach and also Pedro Tractor. Half of the riders who will be qualified for the final have the chance to win. I'm confident. My bike is good. I'm well prepared. I will give my best to win. Well, that sounds pretty American to me. As Bernd has spent some of this winter training in the States, it's perhaps not surprising. The exhibition hall of Leipzig, it's about 340 meters long, this track, and it's very tight. As well as soft and rutted out, there is room for 6,500 spectators in here. There's a very tight left-hander after the start, and after 2 double jumps comes the tunnel. That's narrow with only one ideal line before the super jump, which will also be the finish. Then we have the washboard, or whoops. These, of course, can be taken 2 ways. Either you go at them absolutely full haul across the peaks, or you try and double up riding the tops of them, or taking them in sequence. And there's a nice example of lofting the front wheel to get the sequence going, as demonstrated by Bernd Eckenbach. Near the end, a spectacular triple jump right in front of the crowd, demonstrated here by number 22, Peter Dirks, the German 125 national champion. Although he's a Belgian. Here's the first heat. Down goes the gate. And it looks like number 3, Doug Dubach, who's in there at the front, ahead of number 11, and he is the Sweden's 500cc world motocross champion, Marcus Hansson. Number 38, Swiss champ, the 21-year-old Christian Chanton is also in there. But it's the pink Pro Circuit Yamaha of Dubach that's at the front. Number 3, Dubach. Number 14's in there. Jean-Sébastien Roy, the Canadian Supercross champion. Already past number 11 on the Georges Jobé team Belgicom Honda, which he'll ride in 1995 in the 250 World Championships. That's number 11, Marcus Hansson, a very quiet, determined Swede. Not a greatly experienced Supercrosser, but always shows good style when he's with us. Number 38, Christian Chanton, the Swiss Supercross champ. There's quite a few European champions around in this arena tonight. 6,500 fans enjoying the action in this exhibition hall at Leipzig. This is one of the best exhibitions they'll see here across these mountains of dirt. Number 11, Marcus Hansen. Transferring from his allegiance from the 500cc Grand Prix, which he won so dramatically, to the 250 Grand Prix in 1995. That's a very tight, almost slow line that Dubach takes across those whoops. But there's nothing slow about the way he goes across the triple. And in second place, number 14, Jean-Sébastien Roy, the Canadian champ, getting positively outrageous there. In the background, number 11, still in third place, Marcus Hansen. Here we have Doug Dubach, a regular visitor from way back as he takes the win from way back in 1988 when he first won over here in Europe. So Dubach wins, Roy second, Hansen third, Chanton fourth, Versteeg fifth, and sixth, another American, Chris Young on a Suzuki.
I got a good start. That made it a lot easier for me, but it's always tough no matter how far ahead or how far behind you are. You know, it's always a race, so that's why it's so exciting and that's why I love it.
That's Doug Dubach, still loving it at 31. He's certainly been doing it a long time. And in this race, the second heat, we see our own Warren Bunny Edwards, number 9, for the first time on the Saarholz Honda. And there he is, right in the thick of it, lying about 4th through the first turn. Eckenbacher's taken it at the front. Eckenbach's got away at the front from number 22, Peter Dirks, number 21, Andy Kanstinger. Edwards right with them. Edwards is developing such confidence in his riding at this game that really the European competition doesn't bother him that much. He knows he can ride with the best of them after winning in Ghent. Number 2, Eckenbach. Then number 17, number 9, Edwards, right behind number 17, Willy Formanak, Wild Willy, the Czech on a Honda. And in front of the two of them, number 22, Peter Dirks, 500 Grand Prix rider turned 125cc German motocross champion. These, of course, are 250cc bikes that they're back on today here at Leipzig. Having seen in Vienna the 125cc bike in action on the boards, we're back on more familiar, more powerful 250cc machines here. Oh, and a nasty landing for number 22. And in fact, I think, judging by the yellow flag, Formanak did come off it then. I was going to say it looked like a pretty horrible position he'd got himself into mid-air. Number 7, Ray Somo, one of the American visitors on a Kawasaki. Getting himself into he's a veteran Californian, Somo, always ridden Kawasaki's, getting himself into the heat of the action there. First time we've seen him in this winter series. He's past number 9. Edwards looking a little subdued. Perhaps he's just warming up. I mean, this is his first race of the night. Behind number 19, New Zealand's Shane King. King riding a KTM. Rather unusually for him. Number 2, Eckenbach at the front. Takes the checkered flag. The crowd absolutely delighted with that. Second place, the American-based Belgian, born in Argentina, Axel Holvert on a Yamaha. Third, Somo. Fourth, Edwards, good enough. Fifth, Formanek after that dramatic crash. Sixth, Shane King from New Zealand on the KTM.
Pretty bad start, and I came back to second. I'm really happy because I was riding good. The track is really good, and the crowd here, as you can hear, is really wild.
And that was Axel Holvert, now resident in Southern California. And here we have the start of the qualification race C with number 1, Mike Jones, making his bid for the lead and getting it. So we got Jones at the front. Now, somewhere in there, just on his heels, the man who said he could beat him, and it wasn't that man who just slid to earth. That was a very, very quick exit for one of the Saarholz Honda boys. Number 10, Pedro Tractor, 1993 125 world champ, is the man challenging Mike Jones. He reckons he could beat him. Now, let's see him translate that. The youngest man in the race, 19-year-old Marko Kovalainen, the Finnish 250 motocross champion, right there in third place, number 27 on the Kawasaki, a long, leggy kid from Finland. The dapper little Dutchman, 25-year-old Pedro Tractor, been at it a long time on the Chesterfield Suzuki, 3 times third in the World 125s Championship, but one time in 1993 got that vital, coveted number 1 spot. moves to the 250 GPs alongside this man Kovalainen in 1995. Kovalainen comes from Hyvinkää, which is has one of the best motocross Grand Prix tracks in Finland, so he obviously comes from the right sort of background. Doesn't look too comfortable on a Supercross style. I don't know how much practice he's had. We've seen him on one or two of the events this winter without him getting any dramatic results. But as Warren Edwards said, this dirt here is pretty soft. It's cutting up a bit. Doesn't make riding easy round a track as tight as this. Overtaking, of course, even less so unless someone makes a mistake. Mike Jones, however, not making any mistakes. 28-year-old from Pennsylvania, Stickville, Pennsylvania. First came over and won the Rotterdam Supercross back in 1986. And has been coming back and winning fairly frequently ever since. King of Dortmund in 1994, Halland Cross Cup winner 1993 and 94. And here he is winning again in Leipzig. Third heat goes to Mike Jones. Mike Jones, Suzuki, a 1-2 for Suzuki. Second place, the Chesterfield Suzuki of Pedro Tractor. Third place, Kawasaki's Marco Kovalainen. Fourth, Larraman's Honda. Fifth, Stabler's Kawasaki. And sixth, Willy Van Messel on a Suzuki.
Pass out there, but he never really did challenge me for the lead, so I just rode my own pace in order to save my energy for the semi-final and the final tonight.
So that's it from Mike Jones, but not from Leipzig, far from it. Join us again for the semi-finals in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the first semi-final. Doug Dubach, Bernd Eckenbach, Jean-Sebastian Roy, Marcus Hansen, they're all in there, and it's the Dr. Doug Dubach at the front, ahead of Eckenbach, ahead of Hansen, and ahead of, number 14, Roy, just clipping a back wheel there, but managing to hang on as his front wheel nearly tucked under. It's put him back to fourth place now, ahead of Shanton, but behind Hansen. But it's Dubach making a clean break at the front. They've ironed the track out a bit. Notice the way his back wheel stops solid in mid-air as he taps that back brake just to level the bike out. Colin Dugmore, number 5, well downfield. Number 28 at the front, Doug Dubach, followed by Marcus Hansen on the Belgicom Honda, looking pretty impressive on the new green bike that he's riding in 1995, but losing out there to Bernd Eckenbach, slicing through on his inside. Eckenbach, 24-year-old, comes from near Stuttgart, has just changed to Kawasaki recently after spending most of his competitive career on Honda. Number 14, Roy, looking pretty impressive. Jean-Sebastian Roy on his Turk Stefan team Honda. Ahead of number 38, the yellow Suzuki of Swiss champion Christian Shanton. Number 2, Eckenbach, 14, Roy, 11, Hansen, 38, Shanton. What we have here is a 10-lap semi. 6 of these riders go through to the final. 6 of these riders go through to the final. Doug Dubach looking good for the final. Bernd Eckenbach, beg your pardon, looking good for the final. They've broken clear now at the front. 2 of the best riders with us here at Leipzig tonight. Oh, and a painful looking and Dubach shakes his head there as if to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? He wasn't very happy with himself there, was he? So that's put Eckenbach into the lead, and the roof briefly raised here in Leipzig as they lap number 24 already. Rudy Versteeg from the Netherlands on his Yamaha. Now Dubach attacking again and getting a, whoa! And what a messy overtaking manoeuvre. Well, I suppose that's one way of doing it, isn't it? Pull a snappy pass and then more or less come to a halt, legs all over the shop, and nowhere for your rival to go except to pull in behind you. Doug Dubach's unconventional pass puts him back at the front. The fact that not all 6 go to the through to the final in this race obviously doesn't really concern Doug. He likes to win. He says that's part of the fun. And he's won this one. Second place to Bernd Eckenbach. Number 24, of course, lapped. A quick handshake between the boys. Dubach first. Second place, Eckenbach. Third to Jean-Sebastian Roy. Fourth place, Christian Shantung Suzuki. Fifth, Marcus Hansen's Honda. Sixth, Ray Somo's Kawasaki. They go through to the final.
Well, I made a mistake over on the one side of the racetrack, allowed him to get by. Then I was just kind of feeling him out, and, you know, we were switching lines and just kind of having fun, and he made a little mistake and left that turn open for me, and I put my bike inside, and I was able to make the pass, and it makes for great racing.
It sure does. Thank you very much, Doug Dubach. On to the second semi-final. And here we have number 9, our own Warren Bunny Edwards, going for the win again. And there he is on the left-hand side, behind number 10, former 125 world champ Pedro Tractor, and ahead of number 1, Mike Jones. So already, Edwards, confidence blooming, getting himself up near the front where he wants to be on the first lap on this very, very awkward, choppy little track. A nasty series of bumps as you come out from underneath the bridge there. We've got number 15, Axel Holbert, out in this race. Number 1, Mike Jones, but we've already lost, rather painfully, Bengt Lamens there, and number 16, Willy van Wessel. Apparently neither of them badly damaged, we're pleased to hear. Number 27, Kovalainen, getting inside number 19 there, Shane King from New Zealand. A bit of aggression from the 19-year-old Finn. They're both ahead of number 14, Dutchman Edwin Evertson. Not much of a Supercross specialist, more of an outdoor star, and Mike Jones has got ahead of Warren Edwards. I suppose it's not entirely surprising. I mean, Jones with a tremendous number of years under his 28-year-old belt. Mind you, Edwards has been a bit of a Supercross star for about 6 years himself, so I don't think he's going to let Jones get away that easily, and they're both leading Axel Holbert. Holbert, of course, finished 11th in the West Coast American 125 Supercross Series in 1994. So he must be getting pretty hot on the indoor dirt himself. Underneath the bridge, Jones, Edwards. A nice little loft out across the bumps there by Pennsylvania's Jones. Edwards from Maidstone in Kent has been travelling home with his dad Dave between races to help out with Dave's building business, because it's been so busy he's needed his son's assistance during the week. So you certainly can't say that Edwards has been getting too much practice in when he's not been racing at the Supercross events over here in Germany. Edwards there in 3rd place. Number 15, Axel Holbert, actually born originally in Argentina, although we know him as a Belgian. And Edwards still right there with Jones. Number 10, of course, has escaped the length of that triple jump straight ahead of them now, and that's Pedro Tractor proving the absolute value of a good start. And there goes Edwards. I don't know how much in control Warren was there, but he certainly showed Mike Jones nothing but the straw bales, and Jones had to give way. So Warren Edwards rocketing through to 2nd place. And that certainly assures him a chance to beat Dubach in the final. Number 10, Pedro Tractor, goes across the line first, glances round to see what's happening behind him. And what have we missed, I think? No, we haven't. Warren Edwards 2nd, Mike Jones 3rd, Axel Holbert 4th. 5th place went to that 19-year-old Finn, Marco Kovalainen, beginning to get quicker as the evening wears on. And 6th place to the accomplished Dutchman Edwin Evertson on a Honda.
Mike is still a very good competitor. He made a mistake on the last lap over the triple, and luckily I was able to make amends of that and overtake him.
Well, roughly translated, that means Warren got past into 2nd place. And this is the doctor, Doug Dubach. Born in California, June the 30th, 1963. One of the oldest riders around in a young man's sport. Long-time Yamaha privateer and development rider. 2nd at Paris-Bercy in 1990. Winner in Geneva and Antwerp in 1990. And at Antwerp also back in 88. Won Toronto and had San Jose in 1991.
Came from my sponsor O'Neill several years ago. I had a lot of injuries in one season, and so they named me the doctor because I was at the doctor's more than I was racing. So ever since then, the name has just stayed with me.
Well, what about that? It's the first time we've known where the doctor came from. Still lives in Southern California, loves jet skiing, water skiing, racquetball and weight training.
Test rider for Yamaha Motor Corporation in USA, and so I work closely with them developing the new model bikes.
So that's the doctor, Doug Dubach. Now we know why he's called the doctor. This beautiful pink machine is actually a disguised Yamaha, not one of the TMs we're used to seeing. Dieter Wunschel is the team manager that races with Dubach here in Germany. Used to race with Mike Beer and Tom Carson, two Americans previous to teaming up with Dubach, apparently.
No, it's a good team. We have a lot of fun at the races, and they put together a good bike and good sponsors, and so it's great.
So, 31-year-old Dubach proving what it's like to still. He's the king of Dortmund, of course, so as far as European Supercross concerned, he may not be at the top of the tree anymore in the States. He won at San Jose, his only US national win back in 1992. Canadian Supercross champ that year. Dieter Wunschel doesn't think that his age of 31 is any disadvantage. He thinks it's an advantage. I've never seen a 31-year-old man who is so tough and in such good shape, says Dieter. Look at Dortmund, which is where Dubach won. Many riders faded off the middle of the race. Doug did not. Now we have the final at Leipzig. And it's Doug Dubach versus Warren Edwards. Into the first turn, Dubach had his front fender crucially ahead. Edwards has just been pushed back into the pack. Number 2, Bernd Eckenbach, makes a mistake there, almost dismounts. Not quite long enough in the inside leg measurement to say saved it. Number 1 is in second place, Mike Jones, taking a wide line. Number 9, the man we would love to see win here in England, and that's Warren Edwards. Edwards in third place ahead of Hulbert, and number 10, Pedro Tractor, and here's Dubach. Dubach is leading it. The doctor is leading it where he wants to be. His hole shotting has been good. There's Edwards, not quite so fast out of the trap, in third place. Pedro Tractor getting in an uncharacteristic mess behind him, and that has sort of broken the pack up a little bit. Suddenly Edwards had space. The front 3 are away. Mike Jones has got to the front. Now the 28-year-old from Stickville, Pennsylvania. Can he make this stick? Remember, this is the final. This is the one we've been waiting for. 15-lap final. So what Dieter Wunschel was saying about Doug Dubach may hold good here. The fact that he's tough, he's fit. Many riders fade partway through a final, but Doug does not. It'll be interesting. And number 22 already pulling over. That's a very early exit for the Belgian veteran Peter Dirks, the 125cc German motocross champion. He's out of it. Number 1, Mike Jones isn't. Jones under the bridge. Number 3 on that pink Pro Circuit Yamaha, Doug Dubach. Number 9, Warren Edwards, and number 3, who's closed in on the 3 of them. Oh! And did you see Mike Jones look up then, and all he saw was the underbelly of that Pro Circuit Yamaha. Dubach saying, you're too slow through here, mate. I'm just going to go over your head if you can't manage better than that. So Dubach really showing his superiority there. And oh, Eckenbach had barged his way past Edwards, and then he just overcooked it in that left-hander before the bridge. And that's all it takes. That momentary mistake, and he's down and he's gone and he's out of it. At least at this stage of proceedings. Remember, it's a 15-lap final, so there's quite a bit of time for things to change. Warren Edwards knows that on the Sarholz Honda. And here's Warren trying to stick it in there in third place. Fourth now, number 15, Hulbert. Fifth place, still cheered by the crowd, a recovering Eckenbach, who's come back now past Hulbert, and he's chasing Warren Edwards and making life uncomfortable once more for the 23-year-old Englishman. Oh, Edwards, what a lovely move. Now that's the second time he's done something like that to Jones. Poor old Jones must be getting used to this. Just might begin to make him think he's getting too old for this game, as Edwards, who's 5 years his junior, plants him firmly in the hay bales once again. And now he's getting challenged by 24-year-old Bernd Eckenbach. So it's not a comfortable life for Mike Jones. He was talking as if he's going to win this beforehand, but really, I think he was kidding himself. Number 10, Pedro Tractor in the background. Whoa, and there's those whoops almost catching out Eckenbach. It's obvious that he's riding right on the limit at the moment to try and make that ground up. Now, it doesn't look to me as if Warren Edwards could do anything about Dubach, but he's in a wonderful second place right now. The crowd's eyes all on this battle for third spot, and Eckenbach takes it. And they're waving, they're cheering, they're going wild, they're enjoying that. Bernd Eckenbach's Kawasaki through into third place. As far as we're concerned, we're hoping he doesn't make it any further, because he's getting fairly close again to Warren Edwards. The bright pink Pro Circuit Yamaha, and it's a checkered flag out. Doug Dubach takes it, he's delighted. Warren Edwards takes second place, we're delighted. Brilliant, well done, Wal. Third place for Bernd Eckenbach. 4th place for Mike Jones, 5th place for Axel Holvert, and 6th place for Marcus Hansen. So that's a good win for Dubach, but what a great ride from Warren Edwards, who's been really enjoying his ride with Saarholt's Honda. Eckenbach beats Edwards to the bubbly, but much more importantly, Warren beat the German on the track to continue the rise in his blossoming Supercross career. There he is, enjoying the bubbly in the middle of your screen there. 2nd place for Warren Edwards. On the left, Doug the Doctor Dubach wins it. We've been to Stuttgart. Warren Edwards won in Ghent. We've seen Dubach lift the King of Dortmund title. Now he wins again in Leipzig. 2 weeks' time, we have Hanover, the 11th and 12th of February, so we'll be here to show you highlights of that on February the 13th. That's 2 weeks today. This crowd here has really enjoyed themselves. We hope you have too. This is Supercross.